festival is now in its second year. We started it last year, and it came to be really because Brighton is such a vibrant place. There's so many people who work here who are creative. You can't throw a stick without hitting a creative person. And that includes people who work in children's books. So there are people who illustrate, write, also work in publishing. And so it felt like a great opportunity to have a local event that really featured and highlighted that talent and celebrated children's books. This year the theme for the festival is Leaping from the Page. So we're looking at ways in which children's books are adapted or extended. Film, TV, theater, radio, but also pop-up books, hip-hop. You know, people come upon children's books now in all sorts of different ways, as adaptations, video games. So, for instance, tomorrow we have Kariko Kubo, who's a famed manga creator, Japanese comics. And a lot of teenagers will find that comics is the way that they read, and that's all really an important way of getting access to books and having a love of reading. And once we came up with that theme, there were so many possibilities of ways to go. We were very lucky that Dakota Blue Richards, the young star from the Golden Compass film, agreed to come and answer questions from the audience. So for young people, how exciting and inspiring to get to see someone close to their age who has been in a film that they've seen, an adaptation of Northern Lights by Philip Pullman.
Like, the changes that they have made to the story and to the characters are good ones, and I think like they work.
The theme of this show, of course, is, I find very interesting, which is that whole idea of adaptations. Because an awful lot of television, certainly, is derived from children's books, which I was saying earlier, don't always adapt very well, but I think it's to do with there being a ready market, and broadcasters feel safer if there's a successful book and believe, you know, that it can be adapted.
Well, having festivals is really important. One of the great things is that children can come along and encounter lots of books, but also encounter lots of people who make books. And one of the great things about being a children's author is that you realize that the people that you're writing for are themselves writers, because children are writing, they're learning to write, they're learning to read. So they are involved in the same process as you are. And one thing children can gain from a festival like this is that they come along, they see practitioners, and they see themselves as not being excluded from some kind of remote culture, but something that really matters to them.
I made a comic strip called Robin Hood, and I turned them into cavemen.
You turned them into cavemen? What, the Robin Hood people into cavemen?
Yeah.
Oh, so you made a whole different story about a different way of looking at Robin Hood?
Yeah.
The thing that really excites me is the difference we've got looking across the spectrum of speakers and events, and the way we're looking at books moving from the page into other media. And I think that whole area is very, very exciting and demonstrates the primacy of literature in any creative area, because without the book, you don't get the film.
Very important to us to make sure there was a performance aspect, since that's what we're highlighting. So for that reason, children who are in a workshop now, where they're rehearsing a little musical scene from Nikki Singer's Feather Boy, will get to perform it to the audience.
.com